I've got Bree here, my friend, my sunflower.
Hi, I'm Bree.
Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of relationship advice, some story times, things like that. So let's jump into it. I got some questions for my Q&A that I didn't finish about relationships and how to deal with heartbreak and how did I personally do it. And so I thought, why not make a video including that with her? Because we're girls, we're teenagers.
We go through so much heartbreak.
So much, because everyone just wants us.
Don't think that's the case. So we figured we're kind of at the age, like, I'm a senior in high school, she's a freshman in college, like, we're learning more about ourselves and about, like, the people around us and just learning from situations and things like that. So, I mean, we've both been through pretty recent breakups.
And we both have gone through, like, relationship problems and honestly, like, spiritual growth, like, with God. And we've just been in, like, weird places, especially the last year. And we've both just learned a lot, especially lately with a lot of things. And so we felt like we should, you know, like, help you guys.
There has been a lot of personal growth in both of our lives recently. And we figured, like, we might as well share what we learned through situations that we went through. And, like, not to say, like, oh, this is exactly what you should do and stuff. But this is stuff that, like, we learned that worked for us, that led us to become a better person. And also stuff that, like, oh, like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, the mess ups or whatever. Like, we just want to be real.
Yeah. Because, like, everyone has, like, a different way of going about things and growing. Like, some people take, you know, like, right away they're healed from a relationship or from doing other things that teenagers do, and then others take, like, a while. So it just depends, and we just kind of want to share our experiences, I guess, sort of. Alright, so for this portion she's gonna be saying a little more just because I just have to be careful. I want to keep things private, and I don't want to disrespect anyone that may be watching these videos or even not watching them. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just not something right now. This isn't my season to put it out there yet or at all. I don't know.
We're just gonna try to explain things from our point of view the best we can without disrespecting anyone who was involved and everything, because, like, we're not trying to be biased or anything, but since you're only hearing our side of the story, like, that is very biased. So we're just going to try to respect the other people that were involved in our lives and everything. So we're not going to share a lot of information, but sharing a lot of what we learned, like personal growth, things like that. So, I mean, getting into a relationship at this age and understanding the commitment that takes and the effort that you have to put in, like, while you're at work, like, I don't work, but she does. Like, while you're at work, while you're at school, like, while you're juggling all these things and still, like, finding out who you are, and then also committing to a relationship with another person on another level, like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You have to know that you're able to juggle all of these things at once, because a relation, like, that's a whole nother person. Like, that's a whole life. You have to, like, make sure they're good, and, like, you know, you guys have to be accountable for each other, and you also have to, it's just a lot. So, like, being able to even be in a relationship at, like, I don't know, like 15 to, like, 8, I don't know, 17, I don't, whatever that age range is, like, it's just a lot.
And, like, honestly, I've only, like, dated, like, officially dated one person. It was only for a couple months, and, like, but through that process, like, I had never, like, verbally committed to someone saying, like, I am your girlfriend and all this stuff. So that was a big deal for me, because I knew that I was ready to do that. And, like, I was 17. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm 14 years old, like, I'm a freshman in high school, I have a boyfriend, like, blah, blah. It was like, I knew that, like, I was confident in that because I knew what it entailed. Like, I was so ready to be accountable for this other person and grow with them and learn with them and all these things. And, like, it happened very quickly, and did not work out, but I learned a lot, and I hope that he did too. And like, relationships are confusing.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's crazy.
And through that relationship, like, things were very different than what I expected them to be. Like, do not go into a relationship setting expectations of what they're to do. Like, I understand you have standards. Standards are different from expectations. Standards are like holding respect, holding things like that. Expectations are like, they need to text me every morning, and like they need to buy me flowers, and like expecting these cute things in the relationship. Like, that ain't it, sis. Like, do no. So I think I tried not to go into the relationship with those expectations. I did have standards, and those standards were minimally met at points. Not to be disrespectful, but there were things that I was like, oh, like, yeah, he's meeting these needs, I'm meeting these needs for him too. Like, it was a balance, but it was not growing. And so, and then there were a lot of things that, like, cute stuff in the beginning that was like, oh, like waking up to cute texts, like being there for each other and all this stuff. And like, people get comfortable fast. Be careful. Like, when you see someone's getting comfortable, that is not good. Talk to them about it. Like, communicate. Oh my gosh. Communication.
Miscommunication leads to complication. Is that right?
Ooh.
You
heard it here
with
first.
That too, just a quick little thing. I was in a relationship with someone, and I never, right away, I didn't really have expectations or anything really, because it kind of went fast, because it was just a really weird situation, and we were really young. And also, I was in relationships before, but it wasn't like, it was just those at school relationships, like your 8th through 10th grade year, where it's like, we're dating, but like we don't really hang out much. Like, so
you see each other at school, and you're like, okay, see you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So with that, I was just kind of, I didn't go in expecting really anything. I just kind of was like, oh, relationship, like, okay, whatever. But then, after a while, this is a big thing actually, with social media these days, you see all these couples, and you're like, wow, I wish I had that. Or like, you start comparing your relationship with like others' relationships, and it's kind of like not right, because you don't know how it is off camera or off of social media. Like, that's also something.
I'm sorry.
You like look at your relationship, and you guys don't even see each other, and when you guys do see each other, it's
Did you see that?
You see all this, and like when you're like at home hanging out, and that's all, and you're like jealous of other people. And that's something I did. I like the first however long we did all these things. We were of course in the honeymoon stage for a while, and then as like the years went on, like it started becoming different, and like I kind of had these expectations that like, oh, you should do this for me, when he wasn't ever, really doing anything. And I would literally like, ask like, oh, like I want flowers, or like, oh, you should like take pictures with me, or like you should do this, or like, hey,
literally,
can you hold the door open
the
for me,
bare
or something,
minimum,
like the bare minimum,
like of chivalry. Like,
right.
Chivalry, okay, honestly, chivalry is not dead. Like, you need to have a man or a woman who is still chivalrous. Like, will still open the door for you, will still make cute gestures. Like, and I get like, oh, we're young, like blah blah blah, but like, if you care about someone and if you love them and respect them, like, you should want to do cute things for them without them having to ask you to do that.
And that's the problem, like...
That's the tea.
That's the tea. Oh, what was that? So, but yeah, that was just something I dealt with. It was just kind of like, I started to be like, wow, I wish you could do this for me, and like when the person was just like doing nothing like for the longest time. And so like of course I was like upset about it, and then you know we broke up, and then now I realize like, wow, like I shouldn't expect like these things, and I shouldn't have to ask someone to like do the bare minimum of like
literally any
like
relationship.
even, like it's not even being like selfish, like, oh, I want flowers, I want blah 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 blah, but like okay, after like years and years, it's like at least do something for me like every once in a while, which like he did, no shade, like, you know, he did do things, but like
I feel like the flowers and things, like, it's not like, oh, I just want flowers because like I want flowers, but like that's like how it shows from,
Yeah.
you haven't been giving me attention, like
Not even
our
flowers,
relationship
just,
is lacking, like
yeah.
kind of stuff like that. And like not to like shade the other person, like there were things too that I know that I could have done better. And like when you are in a relationship with someone and you want it to grow and you want that other person to like be on the same level as you and like kind of understand like what you want out of the relationship, and they're not matching that, like that's so frustrating. And like and especially like if you see their potential, like honestly, like our relationship could be so good if you just did this and this and this, like I'm trying to give you this and I'm trying to do that. And it's like, and especially girls too, because we're like, girls mature faster, so when you date someone who's around the same age as you, like I don't care what people say, like girls mature faster.
Yeah.
Like sometimes girls are just like on a whole nother level, especially if you're dating a younger guy. And like that's part of the reason like why I'm always like
Yeah.
college boys,
Right.
oh gosh. But like I'm attracted to older guys just because like they are more mature. And my last relationship was the first time I was ever like with someone that was younger than me by that, well, it wasn't even that much, but like in the same grade as me, like that kind of thing. And I'd never like done that, and I was like I knew there was a reason for this.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful, like, and especially trying to keep God the center of it. I get that like people are always like, oh, like make sure God's the center and stuff, but like honestly,
Yeah.
if
Oh
you
my gosh.
if your relationship with God is compromised by your relationship with this person, cut it out.
Yeah.
If you can tell that like, oh, I haven't been going to church as much, like I haven't been like my walk hasn't been as strong since I've been seeing this person, blah blah blah, like they're not trying to support that and like help you grow, like shut it down. Honestly, like